get to tell you about something today, something really fantastic, quite wonderful. And okay, I'll give it away. It's the world's largest musical instrument. Now you might wonder, what is that? What might that be? Well, I'm going to tell you, but before I do, I have to tell you a little bit about where it is and why it is. So the where is Bamfield. The aforementioned Music by the Sea is there. And what is Bamfield? Bamfield is a beautiful, magical, remote little fishing village on the west coast of Vancouver Island, British Columbia, situated in the upper left-hand corner of North America, with the full-on Pacific right out front. And it's so beautiful and inspiring that we decided to start Music by the Sea there. And it turns out that there's also the Bamfield Marine Sciences Center. And 10 years ago, there was a brand new building built, which has this glass wall that flares out to the ocean. And we thought, wow, this would be the place to start Music by the Sea. And Music by the Sea would be a place where the world's finest musicians would want to come and congregate and work together and collaborate, perform, create, and mentor. So it would be a festival and a school. And so we would help bring about the next great generation of musicians as well. So this has been unfolding for 10 years. And the first year that we did it, we all had that sense of providence at our back. It was a history in the making. We were going to make something that would go on for many, many decades. And this would be a myth in the making. We'd all talk about, remember that first season. So it required a sense of ceremony and something to herald the whole thing. And I had remembered that back when I lived in Ontario, we used to go to the Stratford Festival for Shakespeare plays, and they would before they started the play, they would have fanfares on the balcony of trumpets, sort of like the bells in the lobby telling you to get to your seats in a regular theater. So I thought, gee, we could do something like that. But since we have the inlet right in front of the building, the Rick Center, which also has a balcony on it, by the way, I thought instead of trumpets on the balcony, we'll put a trumpet in a rowboat, and we'll put it out in the middle of the inlet, and we'll do that. I'll write 3 fanfares, and I just dashed them off before we left the first day 10 years ago. And the first one would be in the middle of the inlet at 15 minutes before we start. Then the next one would be halfway from the middle to the shore at 10 minutes. Then the next one would be at the shoreline 5 minutes before we start. And this would tell everybody that we're about to start. And it kind of backfired. It kind of backfired in the sense that normally we ignore the bells in the lobby, right? And we got our drink and we want to stay out there as long as we can. But what it's become is audiences come to expect to hear this. They go out on the balcony and they hear the first fanfare at 15 minutes before, and then they just stand there waiting for the next one for 5 minutes. And I'm always saying to them, no, Mill, have a drink, but they're waiting for the next one. And we do that. It's become a great thing every year. And the festival has gained a real reputation. And like I said, 10 years. So 10 years ago, we started. Last year was our 10th anniversary. And so it occurred to us we needed something to really, again, herald that anniversary and maybe draw a bit more attention to ourselves. And I thought, what could we do with these fanfares? Because we had changed them over the years. We've added timpani and chimes and other things. And then I had the idea. This is the beginning of this idea. I thought, what if I have a keyboard, a digital keyboard, and I play this note, ba, and it would remotely trigger and play a ship's horn in the inlet playing that note. And then I could make another horn and put it on another boat, and I'd play ba, that note would play that boat. And I could assemble a series of boats with different notes, and I could play it like a big keyboard instrument. So I took this idea to the organization, and it seemed a bit far-fetched, but why not try? So we put together a committee, and on that committee were some of Canada's top technology gurus. And one of these people was the chair of a department at the university. And I didn't know it, but there was a department up there called Music Tech. And they combined physics and mathematics and engineering and music. And he said, we've had so many young, brilliant graduates and protégés from this department that enough of them are out there, and some of them have formed a company in town called Limbic Media. I think these guys could do this for you. So I went to see Limbic Media, and they really liked the idea. And what's so sexy about the idea is that it combines our modern digital technology with old-fashioned analog technology. These horns are real compressed air horns. So it's a horn with a tank of compressed air, like a scuba diving tank. And the technology works like this. When I press this key, digital information comes out, goes into a little box that converts it to something that transmits it via FM into the inlet. And each horn has got its own receiver, and it's looking to hear its MIDI note on or off. And when I play that one, it plays. And it sends the electricity to a solenoid, which opens up the gas and blasts the horn. And they're really loud. So long story short, we spent a year doing this, R&D'ing it. We deployed it last summer on July 3rd in Bamfield. And it worked. So 12 boats came to the dock. We gave them each their horn, compressed air tank. Out they went. They formed in front of the hall there. The trumpet player went out in the rowboat. He played again, ba-ba-ba-ba, and then I answered, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, on the boats. Everybody loved it. In fact, even a whale loved it. A whale showed up. And he spouted and spouted, and then at the end, he flapped his tail and went away. And of course, I mentioned it was the marine biology station where we do this, and there's a lot of young marine biologists around. Of course, there was much conjecture as to whether we had summoned the whale or it was just a coincidence. Well, we do these fanfares every year at the beginning and at the end of the festival 10 days later. So I said, well, we'll see. And we did it again 10 days later. Same whale came back. So it's a whale of a sized instrument, but I said the world's largest musical instrument. It's not the largest yet, is it? So at the deployment this summer, since we were so close to Canada Day, we played O Canada after the fanfares. And of course, Canada Day is July 1st in Canada, sort of the equivalent of July 4th in the United States. And then the big idea started to come into clarity. What if, since this is digital information, it can go over the internet? And there could be another set of boats with their horns on the other side of Canada. There could be one all the way around the world. And why not, since July 1st, 2017 is Canada's 150th birthday, why not have the horns all across the country? And why not? Why stop there? We go global. So I see boats in front of Westminster in London, England, on the River Thames, Australia in front of the Opera House. Now, this is a pretty big idea. But in the theater, we have an expression, go big or go home. And so it's got to be even bigger. And I said the world's largest musical instrument. So if we do this, and we are going to do this on July 1st, 2017, not everybody will be able to be where the boats are. Not everybody will be in Halifax Harbor or behind the Parliament buildings in Ottawa or Victoria. So then we had to scale this up. Then came the next idea. Since it's a digital platform, we could make a smartphone application. And people will be able to download their application, and it will, when they download it, it will download digital samples of the horns. So on the day, if you can't be where the horns are, you just take your smartphone and you take your browser and you go to the website, which Canadians will know about and people all around the world will know about, and your phone becomes part of the musical instrument. So you become a participant. So in this way, everybody, as much as possible, worldwide can take part in a simultaneous performance of O Canada. And you might say, well, why would we do this? Well, it's fun. It's fun, and it's loud. But also, don't forget, my original plan was to attract some attention to ourselves. Well, Bamfield's, pretty remote little place. After 2017, nobody will ever again say to me, I don't know where Bamfield is. We'll solve that. But also, it's a great way to show off in 150, because it's nationalism, but it's not jingoism. It's very Canadian, it's whimsical, and it's all-inclusive. It's not any language or any ethnicity, it's just boat horns. So it's ecumenical, let's put it that way. So I invite you to imagine this happening, and on July 1st at 8 a.m. 2017, in Banfield at Music by the Sea. A keyboard will play, and it will play all these horns and cell phones, smartphones, all around the world at the very same instant. So, until then, thank you for listening, and stay tuned.